Chapter 1. Abalone's Beginning. The powers have called me away. Now I must win the honor of coming home again. Take a last look around at my old life. The dedication to who I am will lead me to carry on my orders without regret. My enemy will see the fire in my eyes. They will surrender it all for the final time. I will come back forsaken and changed. I will be remembered by none, and I will live as a god one more time. Hello. My name is Abalone, and I see you're interested in learning about me and who I am. I have lived a long time in this world and have had many adventures. And with each adventure, I learned a great deal. I've witnessed a lot of events in history, and there are many ceremonies and songs that tell of not only me, but of my brothers, sisters, family, and friends as well. Here are some of my stories. I want to take you back many, many years ago. Back when this world you now live in was still being created into what you see today. Back when the spirits, half-spirits, monsters, and other mystical beings walked the earth. Back when many aspects of the world you see today were yet to be conceived and put into order. Aspects like the day and night, the moon and stars, the sun's path, even the color of the sky and earth. In the creation of this world, there was first light, beauty, and blessings, thoughts of goodness and what was to come. But with any light comes the darkness and shadow that follow. Beasts, demons, and monsters roamed this world, always in conflict with goodness, always at war with the goodness that was planned. This world was becoming home to many different tribes and races of spirits that have come from various worlds and beginnings before this one. With things so out of order, there had to be some council and spirits that worked to make this world livable and a place to call home. With the help and guidance of the Creator, a council of high spirits with representatives from all the tribes was formed. These tribes and races all worked together to live in harmony with each other and make decisions that would later affect the outcome of the world. I come from a tribe of spirits known as Diiyin. The tribe settled on a land called Ta, located in the southwest corners of a great land. From there is where we emerged from a world ravaged by floodwaters. It's been many years since that time we emerged, and since then, I've been born into this world and raised in the teachings of my elder spirits. I was a young, happy spirit without a name. Not a pure spirit, but a spirit who was beginning to become more human-like. I had to sleep, eat, rest. I had a heart, a stomach, and the beginnings of an imagination. I was amongst a generation of spirits who were different from the ones before. I was a young boy who loved to fight with my brothers, run after the small beings, and explore the rocks. I was always known for my quick learning and ambition to never give up on a challenge. No matter how many times I would fail, I would keep trying until I mastered it. This ambition and drive made me stronger, faster, and more skilled than most of my brothers and sisters at the time. I was always complimented on my appearance and presence. All of my years of playing in the rocks and wrestling had left my body strong, fit, quick. My long black hair that reached past my waist seemed to match perfectly with my deep brown buckskin pants and moccasins. My eyes were a light brown that matched the clay earth after a rain. Tall and lean with quickness and strength complemented my young, sharp look. My home was very beautiful. All around were pinon, juniper, and pine trees, sage bushes, small canyons, small waterfalls and streams, open areas with different kinds of plants and herbs. My home consisted of several structures, mostly 8-sided home-like living quarters. The structures were situated in a circle and spread out like a star in specific directions. Towards the center were several shade houses and a common area where we all would meet, talk, tell stories, and just be amongst each other. Each of us younger spirits would share homes with older spirits. I stayed with my brothers who are known today as Jet, White Snow, Yellow Star, and Green Stone. All of us lived in the home of Tea Woman and Red Herb Man. Even though we all lived together, we all were born and created from different places near our home in the land of Ta. I never knew where I had come from. None of us younger ones were ever really told what part of this world we came from. Just that one day it would call us back when we were ready. Like an instinct, we would automatically know and would show signs as we grew of why we were created. In time, I would find out what my true purpose for creation was. While growing up, there would be stories told around the fires about my brothers before us. Twin brothers who were birthed from the sun and changing woman. Warriors who sought to protect their people, rid this world of beasts and demons that hunted us. Their battles against the monsters of this world were truly legendary. Word would spread how they got another beast, and how they accomplished the impossible. For many years, they have been gone, making this world safe for us spirits. Now, during those days, there would be limitations of where my siblings and I would be able to go. There would also be many strange spirits that would come visit our home. My brothers and I had to move out of our home several times, and never really knew why, other than the spirits just telling us it was for ceremony or would damper our curiosity with just stone-cold looks. Looks that spoke more than words to keep to ourselves. Many of these spirits that come to visit were warrior spirits. They would come from different tribes, different places on this land. We were always told to stay away and let them rest. At several points, warrior spirits stayed to protect our home. In those times, I would try to sneak around and talk with those warrior spirits. I was lucky to hear more stories of them and where they came from. One spirit told me that he was from a squad called the Silver Eagle Squad. His name was Bracer, and he told me stories of my twin brothers and the different trainings and tasks that they had to go through to prepare them for the battles ahead. I would try to copy these trainings that my older brothers were going through in hopes of being like them. One day, my brothers came back home. Now grown men, my brothers returned in success. The land was free from most monsters and titans. Songs, celebrations, and ceremonies took place. It was a happy time, and I remember very well. But this time of celebration, it didn't last. Not too long after my brother's return, I was called to the Great Male Structure. I was confused and scared because I had never been in this holy structure since its creation. A tall structure made of clay and mud mixture with finely shaved wood. The entrance smelled of fresh rain after it hits the dirt. The warmth from the fire hugged me as I walked through the short hallway-like entrance. I walked in and found my older siblings just sitting around the fire, which was centered underneath an opening to the ceiling. Beautiful red walls that shine like water flowed down them and surrounded us. Huge wooden poles with markings and yellow accents spaced evenly along the structure, providing support. I saw everyone beginning with First Man sitting on the clouds and winds, the head spot to the west of the structure. The serious look on his face matched the fierce black jet armor. The armor was beautifully crafted with bright mountain lion pelt, seemingly sewn within the stone protection. He always carried an old pouch laid across his chest to his hip. An unstrung bow and quiver set made of turquoise and red coral fixed upon his back stood out and added to his rainbow effect of beauty. First Man began to speak to us about this land and how it is now free of the monsters that terrorized us.
My children, you have lived at home in our protection and care since your creation. It is time to walk your special roads and play your part in the protection and blessings of the beings to come walking on this earth. You are to fulfill your purposes and become the caretakers of the sacred mountains and other sacred locations.
Strongly spoke First Man. I was surprised, but happy too. I'll finally go out and see this beautiful world. First Man looked around to tell all of us and pulled a pure white buckskin pouch from behind him. He stood up and walked towards each of my brothers and sisters, starting in a clockwise motion. Each one he gave a special weapon or tool and whispered in a way where no one could overhear their conversations. One by one, my brothers and sisters left the structure with their gifts, until finally, First Man approached me.
Hello, my son. I know you have seen me give your brothers and sisters special gifts. Now, I present to you this powerful teacher and protector.
First man drew from his pouch a small black lightning bolt. He presented it to me with a smile and softly sang a song. I cautiously held it in my hand and wondered what I was to do with it.
His name is Black Lightning. He will be your teacher and protector from this day on. Grow with him, respect him, and take care of him, and he will in turn provide you with all the tools and knowledge needed to become what you are meant to be.
First man spoke as if a whisper of song and warmth into my ears. I spoke his name, Black Lightning, and the small lightning bolt shivered and shook. My hand began to tingle and become numb. The figure began to shift and move up my arm to my shoulders, then across to my chest and down my other arm to the palm of my hand. With a spark and a flash of black light, a small figure stood upright in my hand. Black Lightning spoke in a sharp, deep tone.
Hello, young one. You have spoken my name, and now I have appeared to you. I will protect you, teach you, train you, and make you strong for the task you are meant to take on. When you are ready, we shall begin with the first step of your training.
I was amazed, scared, and excited all at once. I looked to First Man, who was smiling and walking towards the doorway. First Man spoke in a harsh tone, but smiled, saying,
Time to get started. Get going. Hurry.
I jumped to my feet and burst to the doorway. I was startled to notice that the little being in my hand had disappeared and been replaced with black markings all up and down my arm. I wanted to stop and explore these markings, but knew First Man had other businesses to attend to. I couldn't take up his time looking at myself inside his home. Once outside, I looked on as my other siblings had already made their way back to their houses and begun to pack for their journeys. I held out my right hand and further examined the dark markings. They seemed to move as water flowing down a river, or smoke in the wind. I decided to try to speak to it in hopes of a response. Hey, Black Lightning, should I pack my things as my brothers and sisters are doing? I had asked.
No, young one. Your first step will be different from your siblings. I want you to run east till you reach the river that flows into the sky.
I pondered to myself, there's no such river anywhere near here. I've traveled several days in every direction during hunting trips and have never come across a river that flows from the sky. Black Lightning, I know of no such river. Is it several days run from here? Shouldn't I put together like a travel pack for the journey?
Enough questions.
Black Lightning thundered at me. My arms started to shake and tingle. Soon the markings flowed down my arm to my hand and then shot to the ground in front of me. In front of me stood a tall, dark figure shrouded in black mist. Flashes of light within the mist outlined this figure's powerful build and majestic black armor. His eyes sparkled a bright white that stood out from his seemingly hidden face. Across his shoulders, down his chest and back, was a hardened material that was made of black onyx stone. Across his back shined a quiver set that seemed to be made of light that flashes across the night sky during a storm. His arms, though also slightly shrouded in mist and cloud, were covered with black leopard skin, along with onyx arm guards on his forearms. His leggings were made of the same black leopard skin with sparks of lightning hanging down like ribbons off a dance shirt. On his feet were sort of moccasins layered with onyx stone. In spite of his ominous presence, I felt a sense of comfort and protection from him.
Toward those hills you will run until you find the river. Follow it upstream.
Black Lightning pointed towards the east to the high hills that were covered in pine and juniper trees.
I will be with you the whole time, but it will be up to you to find your way.
Black Lightning closed his eyes, and the dark mist shot back into my arm, and the markings returned as they were. Even though having been just scolded, I felt strong and empowered, seeing such a majestic warrior by my side. I yelped in excitement and ran as fast as I could towards the forest. My feet, strong and hard from the years of running and playing with no moccasins, carried me fast and far, and before I knew it, my home was long out of sight, and I was at the edge of the forest entrance. Wait! Brother, wait! A cry from behind me sounded. I turned to look and saw a familiar face, carrying a large sack over his shoulder. A young warrior who wore similar clothes to mine, except hued in a dark ash-like color. His long black hair seemed to always be in place, never frayed. Slicked back, shiny. His arms and legs roughed with scars and scrapes from our years of growing up in the rocks and wrestling matches. He was taller, but not as broad as me. A fine-looking young warrior. Huh? Why is it that I always turn and see you trying to keep up with me? I laughed as he finally caught up to me. You run barefoot, and I run with my moccasins. It makes a huge difference, especially with your feet being so ashy. You could start a fire by having them touch. Jet mocked. I laughed and embraced my brother. We looked at each other with excitement, knowing that we are at the doorway to our own adventures. What gift did First Man give you? I asked. With a smirk, Jet stepped back and dropped his sack. A bright white light then began to shine across his chest and shoot down his hand. In a similar fashion, black lightning appeared from my hand. A tall warrior shrouded in white smoke and white light appeared in front of us. An equally stunning warrior adorned with crystal-like armor and clothes of gray wolf hide. His name's Sharpstar. Who's yours? Jet proclaimed with pride. Without even needing to speak his name, my arm began to tremble, and out came my protector. Well, his name's Black Lightning. The two spirits greeted each other with a warmth, like a reunion of family. My brother Jet and I looked in awe at such amazing warriors, both in sight and in power, standing before us. Having only known our little home area and seen very few warrior spirits, this was truly a treat.
I see your young ones ready to go. Where are you two headed?
The deep voice of my protector Black Lightning asked Sharpstar. An equally stunning voice of tone and power, but with a slightly higher scale, replied, We will be headed north to the Black Mountains. I see your young one doesn't have any provisions. Roughing it as usual way, eh, Black?
He has what he needs already grown into him. Anything else we will attain along the journey. For now, he has his wit, his body, and his determination, all of which I will see to it they are pushed to their limits.
Laughed Black Lightning. The two mighty spirits continued their conversation about their locations and where they had been since they last saw each other. My brother Jet and I stepped aside to carry on our own conversation. So, we are finally going out to see the world, sighed Jet. It still hasn't even hit me yet that we're actually leaving home. What do you think we'll see out there? I asked. I'm not sure. I am thankful that those beasts and monsters are gone. But I hear there's still some darkness of some kind lurking out there. And I'm worried I might never see home again. At least not the way we're leaving it. Jet spoke as we looked back to our home. I doubt anything will change here. If anything, it will get even better with whatever teachings and blessings we bring back. We will all become stronger and be able to defend our home that much more if the darkness ever decides to rear its head around here. I boldly spoke. Yeah, we will for sure be protected and guided well with these beings as our teachers. Look how massive and impressive they both are. I have never seen spirits like them. They are very impressive. I find it more impressive the fact that they can appear and disappear onto us with ease. I've never known a being to do that. Neither have I. This journey must be something very important having such strong warriors and amazing abilities already from the beginning. Yeah, First Man always took care of us and continues to make sure we will be taken care of on the road ahead. I'll miss home. How long do you think we'll be gone? And do you think we'll see our brothers and sisters out there? I bet it will be a while before we come home. With everything that our twin brothers had gone through, I imagine a huge world just out there full of lessons and the makings of our own stories and legends. I'm sure we all will cross paths sooner or later out there. Just have to stay strong and make sure we all make it home to tell each other what we have seen out there. I calmly replied, even though I was nervous. I had no real idea of what lay ahead for us. I agree, brother. I hear we are headed to the Black Mountains, and you two are headed where the water flows into the sky. Well, they both sound amazing. We continued our talk well into the sun began to make its way from the peak of the sky. Having spoken with my brother one last time before we depart was humbling and heartwarming. We both stared at home and saw the rest of our brothers and sisters leaving in different directions, all of them starting on their long journeys. I'll see you out there, brother. You stay safe and have lots of stories to tell when we gather around the fire again, Jet told me as we embraced one last time.
Let's be on our way, young one.
Black Lightning spoke as he returned to my arm after a warrior's departing gesture with Sharp Star. I smiled and waved back at my brother and his spirit. One last breath before turning to face the forest ahead of me. Well, my journey has now begun.